Okay. Oh no. My camera's all frozen now. I don't know what's going on there. Let me 1 second. All right, turn that off. One sec. Okay. I don't know why my camera's hung like that, but it's fine. There it is. Okay. Hello everyone. Hi, how are y'all doing? It's Brian. Just back by myself. We had our Sunday conversation with Dr. Ullman, Catherine Ullman, about her book on active defenders. It was a good discussion. I enjoy having interviews on and learning new things. I'm not even on like a minute, and my cat's already yowling at me. Fuck, it's gonna be one of them streams today, I guess. So, how's everybody doing? Hope everyone's having a good week, had a good time. What, pow pow? Yeah, good times there. But yeah, hope everyone had a good week. Been hanging out. Most of you who follow the stream know I was in Santa Monica this week, doing something for work, which very interesting, and we'll talk about that. What, pow pow? Well, no, I'm streaming. I'm streaming right now. Yeah, I know. Go on. She gets that way when she hears people yelling. Maybe I'm yelling too much. So where am I? Oh, so yeah, interesting time. First time I'd ever been to an event like that where people were actively, shitting on stuff that that we create and showing us how bad it was. It was almost like full contact QA or something like that. And so, hello, I'm still here, still here. All right. Yeah, so it was interesting. I got to meet some new people. Got to hang out with some of my workmates, which doesn't happen a lot. And got the flu, got a little head cold. So, still working through that. It's much better than it was Sunday night, but still got a stuffy head. Not the vid. I didn't have vid. I can still taste things like the taste of failure was pretty palatable this weekend. So, but yeah, interesting concept though. Something that I learned, and I've learned this because embracing new things at work is some of the findings that or submissions. Sorry, one of the things you're not supposed to say is their findings or issues or vulnerabilities. You're not supposed to go, "Oh, that's a great vulnerability." No, it's a nice submission. Thank you for that. And then you get to triage and figure out if it's actually something worth pursuing later. One of the things that I've gleaned from this is that, and I don't know, for our viewers, we have multiple viewers now. For those viewers that are here or lurking or watching this on the VOD, do you have a bug bounty program at your company? Because one of the things that I found interesting was some of the submissions that the researchers found were known in some ways, but were considered an acceptable risk. Hey, Shecky. Oh my God. Hey, Shecky, what's up? How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. It's interesting. So companies put out products. Everybody puts out a product. Everybody does something. They have a thing that they sell. And eventually, you start getting reports from researchers. And these, are some things might come in. You might get a good write-up from somebody. It used to be that, you would contact a company and they'd be like, yes, thank you for the bug. We'll put a little 10-point font an announcement at the bottom of our webpage talking about this vulnerability that was found. You still see some of that at like places like Microsoft that will give credit where credit's due. But so there are things that can be found by those researchers at these events. And if you put out a product and you are in security and you're one of those people that are having to, vet the product before it goes out, there might be some things left over, potential risks, if you will. I'm not going to paint any here or imply that there are any open risks, but if you have a product that go out and there are things when you're releasing a product that are like, hey, you should probably fix those, and your product team is like, yeah, no, we consider that an acceptable thing. And you're like, well, if somebody was to get knowledge of this, they would be able to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. We're okay with accepting that. And then you would have a process by which you have your management accept those risks, knowing that they exist, but you're still okay with sending them out. That's ideally in the real world what I would imagine is happening. Those risks that go out now, once you start a bug bounty program, that's money for bug bounty hunters. Whether or not you want them to be, and depending on what you set your scope to be, which ideally there is no scope. If it's publicly accessible, you should consider it in scope. If your company owns, one domain, and oh yeah, there's one thing over here, and it takes as a form and whatever, and it's not really in scope, they're gonna bang on that. Having worked at other companies that have had bug bounties as well, if you get a bug report from a researcher, hopefully it's something more than, hey, I have something that's going to completely own you. You better pay me or else. And they actually give you a good write-up. You're going to need to fix that, whether or not it's in scope or not. It's interesting. So you're going to have open risks in your product that you're going to have to allow the product to ship. And those items will still exist in a product. Lady P, you'd have more viewers. Yes, Lady P, I'm very sorry. Things have been weird at work. I'm sorry. I did mention it on the Slack. Yeah. And I did. Oh crap. Wait a minute. One sec. I'm just covering all my bases here. There we go. I did. There you go, lady. Yeah, I copied it into Slack, but I didn't put it into Discord. I apologize, Lady P. I am sorry about that. Yes, I forgot the Discord. You are correct, Shecky. Thank you. Yes. I'd actually had it in the chat window and failed to hit enter. So, no, I wanted you to be here because I was like, oh no, I don't want you to have to lose out on your nap. Because God knows I could have used one the last couple days. So, anyway, back to my point. It is negative. I know it's like closer to negative 10 minutes. The risks that are in your organization's product, regardless of what it is a bug bounty hunter's, Turkish delight. It's they're going to snap that up if it is anywhere in the scope of your future bug bounties. I think this is a good reason. It's boring, I know, to talk about things like risk registers and but if there are outstanding risks or in your threat model, you highlight these risks and they're not being done. There's definitely if your bug bounty has a max payout of say $20,000 for a critical finding, and your leadership and management. Hello, Lady P. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. thank you for Prime. What was that? I watched a video last night. Lady said it doesn't cost a dime to use Amazon Prime Gaming. So, I thought that was quite a good little rhyme there. So, thank you for that though, Lady P. Appreciate that. So yeah, it was interesting to see that process and to work with these researchers. I shouldn't use researchers in quotes. They do a lot of work. As a matter of fact, I just found the podcast that they put out, helping other bug bounty researchers, maximize their findings, and they do a lot of automation. They, you know, I'm kind of at a crossroads here because I'm going to be working with these folks on the reg, and I kind of don't want them to know that I know that they know that I know that they know. So I'm going to have to hold off on that. If you want their podcast, DM me on Twitter, Twitter, Slack, or Discord, and I'll send you the links to those things. They don't mention us specifically. Obviously, they can't because of legal requirements. And I technically can't do it either, but I did enough OSINT on them to find them, and I'm following them, shadow following them on Twitter. We don't have Lady P says, we don't have a big bug bounty program. I refuse to spend any money on sliding some to them anymore. The extortion attempts ruined it for everyone. Yeah. The interesting thing about, using a bug bounty program with a bug bounty like third party agent is, the bug bounty agent or the program handles that relationship moreover than not. So, we go through and we look at things, and there's it's really weird. It's an odd community kind of thing, right? These 40 or 50 people, they all know one another. And they all go to these different events ran by these bug bounty program companies. And it's like, next month they're going to be in, Venice, Italy. And they're like, oh, I'll just see you there. And, some of these folks are talking about, making millions of dollars. Like, they're in the $1 million club or whatever because they made $1 million off of bug bounties and shit. And I was like, I'm in the wrong line of work. But, I mean, they work at these things, and it's months. I have a responsible disclosure notification now. I make it clear you don't get paid, but if you want to make a responsible disclosure, do it here. That's good. Do you have so Lady P, is it like a security.txt or something like that? I know nobody can see my screen, but security.txt was one of those things that people suggested. Yeah, proposed defining security policies a bit. Where you can put it on your website, and if people go to, your URL, which might be, breaksec.org/security.txt. And it would have like the information on how to contact you, your PGP keys. It mentions acknowledgements page for like a Hall of Fame or what have you. Seems like it might be a nice, easy way of making sure, because a lot of times you'll go to the marketing website and they won't have that information. So having the ability to mail security with a PGP key, which I don't know who the fuck uses PGP anymore. I would argue it's dead as a doornail, but, it's in the footer, also in meta tags. Okay. All right. Very cool. Yeah. See, I mean, that puts you above, most companies. I actually was looking today for a company that we partner with, not Blumera, which I'll mention Blumera here in a second, that did not have anything. So I actually had to email their support to say, hey, we have something we need to report to you, and how would we do that? And the support people did get back to us and go, hey, yeah, I can handle this. And I was like, it's not what I was looking for. I was looking for more of an IT or a security person, but I guess we can talk to, support and see where we can get to on that. Probably coming from my work email, it had a bit more weight than if it was just, joebobbilly@gmail.com. So they felt like they needed to get a hold of me. So but yeah, let me see. Big camera, small browser. There we go. Oh, well, there you go. As shown from my Friday episode, today's episode of our stream is brought to you by Blumera, which provides easy-to-use SIM and XDR, which can be set up in minutes. Teams of all sizes can resolve security threats faster with detection rules written by BreakSec's own Amanda Berlin. Learn more at blumera.com/break. So there you go. They're a sponsor for the next few months. I'm not ashamed of that. I think they do some great work. Amanda Berlin's busting her ass on the reg to make to make it safer for everybody. So that's always helpful. Oh, I should probably, I don't know why VS Code didn't go away, but so this is the security.txt that I had mentioned. You can read the RFC, and there's some items there. Meta, name, security, content, contact info, and link to responsible disclosure note. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, it's not everywhere. Obviously, not a lot of folks use this. You can also, so it says create a text file called security.txt under a well-known directory of your project. A link or email address for people to contact. Maximize the, come on, man. There we go. There we go. Date and time of your security.txt, so it should be considered stale. Oh, wow. So it generates one for you automatically. Oh, that's nice. So it's a nice little form here that you can do. 1 second. There we go. What's this? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it will generate a security.txt file for you, and then you can publish it. If you have a PGP key, you can go through the pain of setting up a PGP key and storing it somewhere. It's an uber pain in the ass. Not that Uber is a pain in the ass. It's a big pain in the ass. Most security researchers will have to be walked through on how to set up a PGP key themselves if you're really that weird about it. Obviously, transmitting that data over email is not a good thing unless it uses TLS. I would argue you just have them put it in some kind of secure location and give you a link to it, like a Google Drive or something, where they can share it to you if you didn't want to do a PGP thing. If Keybase is still around, it's probably the easiest implementation of PGP I've ever seen, and that's saying something. So you can always set up your PGP key in here. It's owned by Zoom, so if you have an issue with Zoom, you probably won't want to use this. But it is probably one of the easiest PGP implementations. It also has encrypted chat, so if you could get your security researcher to join you on an encrypted chat, you can do that. They don't pay us to pimp out their product. I just, there's so many awful ways of trying to do PGP out there, including like, what is it, GNU PG or some bullshit like that, and using Thunderbird mail client and god awful shit. So Keybase is just easier. Go and sign up for an account, and it has a mobile app, and you can use that if you need PGP. Or if you're a sadist and you like pain, you can go and use OpenPGP or whatever god awful systems that is. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it was a learning experience. I'm looking forward to joining them, and for all intents and purposes, I'm going to be in Vegas. I don't know what the days are yet. I know it's going to be sometime around DEF CON, so I will be there, unfortunately, working, which means I now have to pull out all the stops and get a burner laptop and everything because security events like DEF CON and Black Hat are in the same policy as hazardous and risky travel locations as China, Belarus, and Russia. So DEF CON and Black Hat are just like China, Russia, and Belarus. So congratulations, security community, for that. Anyway, so got a little news if y'all are interested. In a surprise to nobody, companies have started banning the use of large language models or AIs like ChatGPT because somebody's leaking data, right? This is not the first. Sent you our responsible disclosure in Discords if you're interested. Very cool. Okay. Oh, very cool. Very nice. Okay. Very cool. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading Lady P's responsible disclosure notice. That's cool. So Lady P, how effective has that been? To be honest, I'm like, people want to get paid these days, so I was just trying to figure out how effective your disclosure notice is. Have you had any takers or any people hit you up for that, like legitimately? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad people are still being willing to, I wouldn't say give it away, but giving them the propers there. Yeah, so that's cool. Anyway, Samsung is banning staff's AI use after a data leak. Apparently, there was a data breach. Their staff was uploading sensitive code to the platform, dealing a setback to the spread of such technology in the workplace. Oh, I see. So, all right. Lady P says, no, they don't give us anything. They just don't try to extort me. Oh, I see. And so Lady P, you've never thought of contacting, the bug crowds out there, the hackeronies, or, you know, um, I, I think only a fool, tries to manage their own bug bounty program. So, I mean, there's other companies that can do that for you. Less headache, I mean, but um, any reason you've not tried to, engage the bug bounties and the hackeronies of the world? So, what did they? The data transmitted to artificial intelligence platforms, including Google Bard and Bing, is stored on external servers, making it difficult to retrieve and delete. Yeah. Company conducted a survey about the use of AI tools internally, and 65% of respondents believe such services pose a risk. So 65% of the people who answered the survey at Samsung said that this was a security risk. Earlier in April, engineers accidentally leaked internal source code by uploading it to ChatGPT. According to the memo, it's unclear what the information encompassed. Oh man. So Samsung being Samsung and having a lot of IP. Um, I'm yeah, the engineers uploading source code. I'm assuming they were doing it to either do documentation or they wanted to do a proof of concept to see if they could actually get, maybe as a QA exercise. I would say if you are hitting your engineers up because they put source code up there, I would say it's very similar to your marketing people using Grammarly to fix potential, PR stuff, right? Or to put out press releases, or hey, we need to announce a breach. We need to, tailor this just so, I use Grammarly for all of my stuff. Anything that sends out to a third party for spell checking or grammar checking or whatever was, should have been outlawed a while ago too. So we've had some bad experiences with the moment it comes live. We have every skid in the world trying to fuzz us to the point where I have to leverage our DDoS protections. It means you're very popular, Lady P. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that kind of comes back to some of the articles we saw a couple of weeks ago. The minute something comes online, you have about 15 minutes before somebody finds you online and starts scanning you. So, and that was, I think, a 2021 article. So, it's probably a lot faster now these days. Let me double check. This is so. Yesterday was a holiday for England, a bank holiday for England and Germany. So some of our folks overseas had come back today. Okay, that's cool. Oh, this was with bug bounty program. Oh, huh. Yeah, that was some of the other stuff that we noticed as well. Some of those security researchers published bug bounty, the skids and extortionists come to play. Yeah, I mean, you're they want that fat loot, right? So if you're brand new, then that means you technically haven't been hardened, right? So you're fresh faced, you're like open to the world, and you probably haven't had their type of QA, right? So you're running into you're running into people who are going to, pound on your APIs, see what it takes to actually make something happen. They're going to be fuzzing the hell out of stuff, like you said. And yeah, DDoS, yeah, I would say we had a couple of people that we had to, tell them to, settle down on that. And of course, they did after a while. I mean, um, depending on where you work with your APIs, rate limiting should be a thing. It may not be available for everybody to do. So having your DDoS protections in place is very important. So yeah, 65%. Yeah, I don't know what those engineers uploaded to OpenAI to, why they thought they should upload those kinds of things. They don't have to ask for permission. That's the whole flaw in the scheme. Yeah. I mean, that's very true, Lady P. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have people who are gonna be banging on that stuff anyway, right? So yeah, the DDoS protections are a thing. Yeah, that just may be something that it's going to cost you more in the long run because you're going to have to pay out the bounty, but you're also going to need to implement things like DDoS protection from the Cloudflares or the Fastly's of the world to make sure that somebody who's banging on your API at 100 times a second is going to not tip over your operational website. So yeah, um, yeah, that's unfortunate. Uh, well, man, I mean, so there's different ways of doing your bug bounties, right? You could do a, open to the world and dog, 500K per second. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Um, I mean, you could have a closed bug bounty. You could have a limited edition bug bounty, so the bug crowds and the hackeronis of the world have these cadre of people, kind of like the people was hanging out with in Santa Monica. And this company has people they've trusted because they have a working relationship with these people. Some of these folks don't work a normal job. Bug bounties are their thing. So you can have a closed bug bounty to kind of work through some of the big wrinkles in your organization. I'm not telling Lady P anything she already doesn't know, but this is, and probably some of you as well. But yeah, I mean, you almost have to dip your toe before you hold the cement block and jump in. You got to dip your toe in. You just don't want to go full bore on that stuff, because the other thing you have to remember is, do you have people who can triage and fix those bugs in a certain amount of time as well? So if your developers are trying to get a review out, or not a release out, or some kind of major update to your product, or they're just trying to get your product out, you've got to pick the right time to start your bug bounty, right? Probably between, product releases or something like that. And, everything has to be triaged accordingly, right? So, yeah, it's rough. It's a rough thing, because you could have one bug, you could have 100 bugs, you could have 100 findings. You could have, and the one good thing I found out about those, the hackeronis and the bug crowds of the world, is they do a good job of triaging those based on your engagement process. So you're likely to get things that are in your engagement, your rules of engagement. And some of these bug hunters live and die by their reputations in these companies. And if they end up losing rep because of a bad write-up, or they've done something that exceeds the scope too many times, they'll get dinged for that. So they really do have some rules that they have to apply. And once they get to a certain level, the bug crowds and them, they have these regular hacking events, kind of like what I went to. And they all come to these things, and they get free travel, free room, free board, I believe an expense account, so they can buy food and things like that. And then they take home whatever it is that they make. So they want to get invited to these events. So they want to play by the rules. So it does kind of work to their advantage to follow these rules. Or you can just hire professional pen testers. honestly, I don't know which one's cheaper at this point, Lady P. You know, um, I don't know. Yeah, honestly, Lady P, I don't know which one you get a bigger bang for your buck for. It's not about cheaper, it's about professionalism. Which I think it is more of which one is less of a headache. You know, that's true. That is quite true. I think, yeah, I can see it both sides here. I mean, if you have a some of the rules of engagement is very much like what what the scope of your engagement is for a pen test. So the bug bounty program, if it's not open to world plus dog and it's like an insulated thing, you get 40 people banging on your application instead of one or two people in a in a time box kind of environment or something like that. So I don't know. I mean, we got a lot of good findings that I'm not certain that a pen tester would have found, to be honest. So I don't know. It really just depends on what your rules of engagement are, what your um, experience is with that. So, but we had a lot of good things that we're still triaging right now. As a matter of fact, let me double check here. Oh, whoops, wrong mouse. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we found some really good, and we actually found stuff that was like, oh, that's not exactly in scope, but another team in our company should know about it, right? So we actually paid them a bounty for this because it was a good finding. It was a good write up. So, um, I mean, they sit there for man. They sat there for probably 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours, and they also bought their own kit. So we didn't have to supply them with any products. Um, I'd be happy to pay a bug hunter who asked for permission, got a clearly defined scope and a time and in volume that we agreed to, aka a Pinta. Well, Lady P, by that definition, we got a really good pen test. I mean, we paid. Well, I'm not gonna mention how much we paid out, but it was a considerable sum, and I think we've probably made some good strides in security for our products. So, um, yeah, I mean, it was nice. So yeah, I see a lot of parallels there, and I completely understand where you're coming from, Lady P. Yeah. Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's what happened. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in Vegas. I have a feeling we'll see more stuff. Other departments from my company are going to also be joining us. If you're going to be in Vegas, hit me up. Unfortunately, I'll probably be working for. I'll actually have to be working, so I won't be able to walk around and do LobbyCon and stuff. But I'll probably be available in the evenings for that. So, but I'll be taking the vast majority of what hits us. Is a friend told me if I run this, I can't think he's someone who paid me $1 million. Yeah. Again, though, that's world plus dog kind of bug bounty stuff, right? Um, I think you could just as easily, Lady P, reply to that email and go sign up for your Hackeroni account and get your money through them or whatever. If you have a Hackeroni, you can deflect to those folks, and if they know anything about or they're registered on Hackeroni, they can submit stuff there, and then Hackeroni or the bug crowds will manage that relationship, right? It also gives them some legitimacy because if they have a history of getting good bugs, you're not talking to Joe Average punk or whatever. That's true. And, Lady P, you could definitely tell them, hey, if you got a Hackeroni account, let me know what it is. And then it'd be like you contact your Hackeroni or your Bug Crowd folks and go, look, this guy was moonlighting on my site, just banging around instead of actually going in to find out if we actually had a bug bounty program over there. Your security.txt could actually say, hey, we're on HackerOne, we're on BugCrowd, we're on findabug.com or something like that. Findabug, earnmoney.com. This is how you can report it. And that might actually, hopefully, will keep them down. But yeah, like you said, the damage has already been done in that respect. So yeah, I guess it would be like, the researcher needs to check and see if they have a bug bounty first and then do the hackage stuff. So wow, yeah, I tell them we need a real name and address to pay, and then I call my contact at the FBI and report. Wow. Yeah. That's definitely something. Hey, Digital Warhead. Oh, Digital Warhead, resubscribed. Thank you very much, sir. Hope to see you tomorrow night at Bellevue. CSEC East, the next to last for me. CSEC East is in Bellevue tomorrow night, so looking forward to that. But holy crap. Oh, digital. Oh my goodness. Cough. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3. You've been dined. We've dined, right? 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Tomorrow's a day. Yes. Well, Shecky, you're not a slacker at all. You have supported the BreakSec podcast for years. And if it wasn't me getting rid of the Patreon, I assume you still would have been supporting us. So you are very much a valued member of the BreakSec family. So I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you, Shecky. But yeah, so long story short, ChatGPT, don't upload your IP to it. If you're Samsung, you've done your people pooched it a little bit. And they not they asked employees who used ChatGPT, so they must have ran incident response on this and found all the IP addresses internally that reached out to open ChatGPT and said, don't do this. And they actually put in, warned breaking new policies could result in getting fired. So they had to push out a new policy immediately going, please don't do this. So meantime, the company's creating its own internal AI tool. Okay. So everybody's got their own blockchain. Everyone has their own large language model now. Everybody's going to be creating their own generative AIs. Whoop-de-freaking do. You're Discordian, Lady P. That's right. My responsible disclosure was written by my own large language model. Okay. Have you used Google Bard yet? Not nearly as good as ChatGPT. I asked Bard about some Nmap commands and it gave me bad prompts. Everything I've heard about Google Bard so far from my research is that it is less mature than ChatGPT version 4. So it's still learning to walk, if you will, or it's still a baby in its crib, or I don't know what the equivalent is for that, but that's what I've been told and have been hearing. So yeah. So I run a fine-tuned 30 byte, only 30 bytes. Oh my god. Apparently, it's got to be fine-tuned if it's only 30. I'm assuming 30 terabytes, Lady P. Exabytes, yottabytes. Oh, 30 bill. Oh my, 30 billion parameters. Billions and billions of parameters. I feel like Carl Sagan now. So, for those of you who don't know, Carl Sagan was a cosmologist. Carl Sagan. Astronomer, planetary seismist, cosmologist is one of those in there. Astrophysicist, astrobiologist, science communicator, author, and professor. There you go. Millions and billions. Yes, exactly. Um, I remember watching videos with him when my mother was trying to go to school and get her degree. Unfortunately, that did not pan out for her, but watching the Cosmos series on videotape at the college where she would go because it was one of the things she had to do. Um, 9-year-old me was not completely enraptured by that. So after a couple of millions and billions, it got a little dry for a 9-year-old. So probably would have enjoyed it more if I'd have been a little older. Um, but yeah. Um, so yeah. So we still have my hardcover, the Cosmos Coffee Table book. I didn't know that was a coffee table book. Oh, I don't have any. I was looking to see if I had books back here, but I got no books. So I think I have the one that Neil deGrasse Tyson created for his Star Talk that was with the National Geographic. But I watched some of Dr. Tyson's remake on Cosmos. Uh, it definitely I think it was made for people to keep them enraptured, so there was a lot more CG effects and stuff than just some old white dude sitting there talking about billions and millions and billions and millions. I mean, there's a distinctive way that Sagan talks, in his stuff, and it does come across as dry for some folks. It probably would have bored the shit out of people if it was launched today. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's big shoes to fill. I mean, with Sagan, with Sagan being like, he's I don't know. He tried. I think he was probably one of the first people to take science to almost, I wouldn't call it mainstream, but it was he tried to do something with it. I think I watched the whole series first when I was on PBS when I was in the Navy, I think, at the time. So, but it was okay. I mean, obviously a lot of things have changed. I mean, we're still finding out about like black holes, or will solve paradoxes now and stuff. So speck of space dust compared to Sagan's Cosmos. I think it had to be done in such a way, the new Cosmos, that it would keep people entertained. You know, some person just sitting there staring at them talking, it's boring as shit. Hmm. Yeah, maybe I should have more CG effects, some dancing aliens and shit in the background, like George Lucas. Um, I agree. We need more shows similar to that. I think Science Channel still has a few, like Secrets of the Universe. I think is probably a good one. They have a lot of decent sciency type folks on there. Let's see, I think it kind of dumbs it down though, but they have to. Brian Cox, Michio Kaku, I think probably would have done well as well. I'm a fan of Michio Kaku. Um, yeah, Secrets of the Universe series. Yeah. I think they have. I think if they tried to make it too technical, it would lose people. Kind of like the original Cosmos. So some of the stuff, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's. Let me see, which one is it? I have them on our Direct TV, which we'll be getting rid of soon. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Here you go. Maybe we'll have a watch party. I don't know how those work, watch parties, but there we go. So we have, this is on Amazon Prime, so they have all these different ones. Secrets of the Universe. I think these are the ones narrated by guy from Dirty Jobs who kind of runs Hot and Cold with me. I forget. Let me see. No, that's not it. Yeah, so Dynamic Earth. I also like Planet Earth, the series with Sir David Attenborough. Um, Death of a Star. Yeah, so they're talking about various things here. I think there was like 8 seasons of this, so I have a bunch of them. But yeah, it's got to be more than that. Anyway, Maybe we'll have a viewing party and we'll watch the original Cosmos and scare people or bore them to death, and then they'll leave or something. Um, but a lot of the stuff that they have to show on these, I wouldn't say is dumbed down, but they have to make it explainable. So you're talking about, what was it? What was the thing that I posted in our science? We have a science channel, by the way, on our Discord. Um, so they had, let me see, where is it? Yeah, copycat black hole. So there's a black hole. Boy, we're going far afield today. If you come for the science, you're going to have it. But they're talking about a new type of black hole from the. There you go. Also found out that they said that they managed to do fusion inside a stellarator in Japan using boron and a stream of protons. The problem is it has to be about 30 times hotter inside to make the plasma for fusion for proton boron reaction than it is a DT reaction or deuterium tritium. So there was a couple of other ones here. Let me see. Oh yeah, new kind of symmetry shaking up quantum systems. This was on Quantum Magazine. I believe these are actually legitimate magazines, not like the International Business Times. So you can go and check those out. But yeah, I like reading. I like science. Science is cool, man. Let me see. Where I was looking at something else. Where was the proton boron fusion stellarator news? Yeah, alternative fusion scheme. Here it is, science.org. I'm hoping so. 24 months till singularity. That would be nice. I have a feeling though the problem with living forever is you can never outlive the trolls. So we need a way to, silence the trolls. So yeah, this was the stellarator that they used. Tritium is rare; it has to be bred from lithium in the reactor itself, and it also creates high energy neutrons. So the new fusion that they've created creates so many neutrons that actually will damage the inside of the tokamak or what have you. Well, you can't. So digital, you can't throw the trolls in the fusion reactor because they're ones and zeros. So unless you figure out how to RMRF them out of the singularity, they're just going to stick around forever. So, but yeah, they're talking about. But the temperature requires 3 billion degrees Celsius, 200 times the heat of the sun, and 30 times hotter than what's needed to fuse deuterium and tritium. So they can fuse protons and boron together, but it's really damn hot. The stellarator. There you go. See, this is what happens when I'm at like 11:30 at night, and I'm like, oh, I should go to bed, and it's like, oh, alternate fusion methods, and it's like 2 in the morning, and I'm like, God damn it. So yeah, yeah, that's nice. This is the 7x complex geometry. There you go. So that's them creating like a fusion. Is that a tokamak? No, it's a stellarator. So yeah. The good thing is the next version of these fusion reactors or stellarators or tokamaks or what have you are going to be cheaper and more efficient because they'll have changes like this. They also have room temperature semiconductors now that they have. So we're going to be that was something we didn't even know of when this started. So, but yeah, good times. We're living in where things are moving faster. So. Anyway, so had the interview last night with Dr. Catherine, or Sunday night with Catherine Ullman, and we talked about active defenders, and I completely missed the mark when she was explaining it to me before the show about what that was, and I had the idea in my head that it was like active countermeasures or active defense that Black Hills was touting a little while ago, and I think they still do, where it's like you're hampering or setting up like tar pits, or you're putting up honey pots and things to, be willful defense, or stymieing or causing the area to be less useful, or to hinder the activity of the defender itself. So active countermeasures kind of stuff. But I was actually interested in what she was talking about with active defenders, where it's really being more in touch with the hacker mindset, and that's part of what the book is going to be talking about in July. Is, and I kind of see this myself, and I didn't actually think it was a thing, but there are a lot of people that like, oh, I don't have time to listen to podcasts and whatever. And, I've interviewed folks and I'm like, well, what do you do to stay knowledgeable about security? Of which I've told, well, I work and I, have hobbies and stuff. And, I've gone to Black Hat a few times, and I was like, does that really keep you abreast of security issues? So, I was trying to figure out what people could do other than, listening to streams or podcasts, because, I appreciate everybody being here because they're learning something from me. But, the idea is, and not everybody learns the same way, but the idea is you need to stay abreast of what's going on, whether it be, I follow people on Twitter, or I'm looking at content on Mastodon, or, I'm looking at, watching people put up new content on Mastodon, like blog posts and stuff. And yes, I know my page is loading here. I follow various hashtags here in Mastodon, and I still don't follow anybody. So you get some new stuff like, hey, T-Mobile got breached again. I feel bad for the T-Mobile folks. Some of you are in our Slack channel, so I appreciate you. It's rough. It's a rough go. So you have my sympathies, and we will have many adult beverages the next time I see yous, both of yous, many of yous. So I did see that about Pornhub in Utah. Yeah. Utah is going to Utah, right? So, ironically enough. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know, let me see. Thank God I'm not looking this up on my... Do not adjust your screens. I just typed this is, honey, no, it's a legitimate scourge. Yeah. So they have an age verification law where if you're coming from a Utah-based IP address, you get a public service announcement from an adult entertainer who says, sorry, we don't want to, see, while safety and compliance are at the forefront of our mission, giving your ID card every time you want to visit an adult platform is not the most effective solution for protecting your users, and in fact will put children and your privacy at risk. The argument Pornhub is making is, you won't come to us, you'll go to a less reputable site that will, ask you for things like a credit card or something like that, which will then fraud you. I would imagine VPN sales have been through the roof, digital warhead. I would also have imagined Tor nodes potentially being used to great effect to get around that. But Utah had to have known, they can't have had to have known, but Utah's people who make these laws are not the brightest people in the brightest bunch of bulbs ever. So they had to know that was going to be bypassed. Kids are probably, already bypassing that stuff. So yeah, VPN sales have gone through the roof. I mean, you could get a US-based VPN and use that. Or, God forbid, you're using your work VPN to do so. Like, one last check of the email. It's been really weird. Had a bit, I don't want to call it survivor guilt, but that's the only thing I can equate it to, right? Yeah, so everybody's having layoffs, right? My company is no exception. Several of my friends who work for companies like Amazon and CrowdStrike and those have also announced that they're available for work on LinkedIn, and I'm just shocked, and it's like those are awesome people. right? And it's like, why didn't I get laid off? It's like, why did they get laid off and not me? And I feel that it's almost like the survivor guilt, where it's like, what did I do right, or what did I not, you know, did it did I just happen to be in an area, or did I see did I see the ship sinking and jump ship to another department, and that saved me? Or see, Lady P, that's what somebody else said too. Um, somebody else said that too, because you're cheap. I think Wim Ramus did. I think he meant it as a joke, but um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They weren't security people, so I don't know if that makes any difference. These aren't security people that are getting laid off. Well, the one was, but I think it was probably more of her choice than anything else. But it was like, am I yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, not that I'm not worthy of being, employed, but did I do better job at networking? Did I, have I found a way to make myself usable, or, where somebody would take somebody else over me? Um, I don't know why I think that. Maybe it's some of that imposter syndrome that I still can't shake after a decade. But it just really it doesn't feel good seeing friends of mine who are on the bread line while I'm still employed. And so I've been trying to help them out, doing helping with searches, or helping them network and connecting people on, um, doing the thoughts and prayers thing. Just no, it's not that. It's like, oh, I hope you find another job. It feels like I need to try to help them as much as I can. Be there for them, and help flex my network if I can, to find them, make them not fun employed. So it is warm here. It was actually warmer here than it was in Santa Monica last week. I thought I'd see the sun. No, no sun. It's all sunny up here in Seattle. And yeah, so I got home and that was it. So anyway, the layoffs and everything that I'd heard about happened while I was on the plane heading to Santa Monica, and I didn't have my work email, and I was half expecting to get to Santa Monica to my hotel room and find out, oh, I had a meeting with my boss, and that didn't happen. So my one-on-one with him, I was like, if I came home, yes, it wasn't overly warm here on Saturday. I think it got up to about 80-ish, about 28 C, 27 C. Um, so, yeah, I actually took an early flight home, so I was home like Sunday. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it definitely got warmer further up, because we had some partial clouds that day. So, um, but yeah. Um, well, digital. We had snow on the 18th of April, so I'm really okay with it being 80 degrees for a couple days. Um, we had snow showers here on the 18th of April, and that's never happened. So I'm more than willing to enjoy an 80-85 degree day while we try to warm up. uh, my beautiful wife. Uh, 90 degrees. Yeah, I mean, it was cloudy as hell in Santa Monica. I was really unhappy with that. So, yeah, T-Mobile got hit by another breach. They say 836 customers, which is quite interesting, the specific number so quickly. They announced the breach happened on March 27th, so it's been about 2 months. March, April. No, one month, almost a month. So that's not bad. 836 customers. That's um, fairly specific. I mean, it could have been. I saw somebody who was bad mouthing T-Mobile on Mastodon, obviously, saying, "Oh, it's only 836 customers." It could have been 38 million, right? So I mean, in plus or minus 3 orders of magnitude. I know some of the folks who do IR there. Right now, given the month that they had to analyze that, I'm guessing that if the number does go up, it's not going to be 33 million, or in the millions. I'm thinking this was a specific issue, or maybe some legacy stuff that was involved. So yeah, it's interesting, and it just goes to show how complicated some environments are, and they've emanated a lot of things, T-Mobile. So you've got MVNOs being brought in and merged and acquisitioned, and you've got partnerships with numerous companies. I mean, it's rough. So I imagine it's a fairly hostile environment from an attacker point of view. So considering it has many breaches as they've had, it's that's pretty telling. Hacker connected and started to download their user database, but T-Mobile's connection sucks so bad they only got 800 records. Lady P. That's hurtful. That hurts. Oh, well, that's not good. No. There we go. Sorry, I had to tip over my keyboard. So yeah, I mean, I do not envy the folks that continue to work at T-Mobile after all of these issues. I mean, it's definitely a place where if you want to get your IR chops in, it's definitely a place where you could learn how to make it through incidents properly. So, having talked to several of them when we were at HushCon? Yeah, I think it was HushCon. It was HushCon. I had lunch with a couple of them, as a matter of fact. But it's definitely something that it's an interesting organization to work in and have it, and a complicated one as well. So, let's see. Just me. Oh yeah, I got that. Okay, I'll show you this. This was something that came up on Mastodon. I'm gonna shrink that up a little bit. Doink. Oh man. Anyway. Wait. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So this come from some place called Hive Systems. Did passwords. Oh, okay. And they say the time it takes to brute force your password in 2023. I think somebody had tried to make a mention that this was probably offline brute forcing instead of like you're banging on an API, like Lady P's APIs. And I'm so in the great span of things from a security point of view, I'm really okay with a 16 character all lowercase password. Because by this definition, it's going to take them 713 years to get through. I'm oddly okay with that. Even if I only change my password every 2 years, computing power is not going to go that high that fast where I am worried about my password getting cracked if it's 16 characters. Now, 27, I'd be okay with 15 characters. I'd probably change it every year or something like that. But yeah, I don't understand what they mean by the 3 seconds is red. Sure. Also depends on the randomness of that string, how much entropy is really there. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if it's I joked with somebody the other day that I was using non-English words for my passwords because they won't be in a regular dictionary. They won't be in a regular dictionary. If I use like burrito, pero, biblioteca, those aren't going to show up in an English language list, if it's 15 A's and then an A and a B, it'd be instant. Yeah, I mean, you're assuming every 15 character, the 15 characters is times 26 times 26 times 26 times 26. And, again, this is an offline attack. You're going to be cracking, crunching hashes at the billions of times. It also means if your passwords are bcrypted or what have you, using the proper mechanisms, using something like bcrypt or something that's going to take a lot of CPU usage or power, is not enhanced by using GPU, for instance, is going to be even better. So I don't know a single password for any of my accounts, all 20 random characters. Yeah, I changed my password on my work laptop just before I went on vacation. I have no idea. What the password is on this thing. And does that make me feel safer? Actually, it causes me pause because I know if I lose that YubiKey, I'm fucked. So, yeah, it's one of those interesting things. Oh yeah. We changed the way that we connect. We still use VPN. I have a multi-pass. Yeah. Ding, multi-pass. That's right, multi-pass. Um, so, yeah, it's. I just found that graphic interesting, where it's like I'm anything in the orange. Well, I'd say anything tens of years. Do I need a 12 character password? I mean, if you're trying to make something that's going to be hard to remember, you know, Burrito Pero Biblioteca might be a perfectly good password if you put a couple spaces in there. So that's what I don't know. Let me see. That's 6, 7 if you count the space. 5 is 12. Add the space is 13. All right, so I'm already up to 20 characters or something, all lowercase with 2 spaces. So we'll just assume upper and lowercase characters because it adds a different kind of entropy. I mean, I have a 20 character password, 126 billion years. I think my Pero Burrito Biblioteca password is probably good enough, especially with the spaces in there. So, but. I think I don't want to say we shot ourselves in the foot, but it is a security thing where we harped on passwords for years, to the point where PCI has a whole section dedicated to testing how good a password is, or at least it did up until, I don't know, PCI DSS4 something. They're probably skewing that now for more MFA related items, but multi-pass mini offline password keeper. Is this like a cheaper Bitwarden or something? Oh. Oh, I thought it was a notebook. What is that? Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, very cool. Interesting. Okay. So what you put the chip in you put the lime in the coconut, you put the chip in the box, and it gives you your passwords? What is that, a USB port on there? Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, it's got a USB-A. Okay. Has it got a little flippy switch thing on the side? What is it, like physically flip through your passwords? That's kind of cool. Okay. So you just dial through them and you wait 2 seconds and then it'll send it through the USB cable to allow you to log in, kind of like a YubiKey. Oh, it's retired. I can't buy it anymore. That's no fun. Dang. Hardware password keepers. Only key. There you go. Only one pin to remember. Oh yeah, I've seen these on Amazon. They have like six buttons on them. That always seemed kind of janky to me. But I mean, it looks like the old, looks like a YubiKey, right? Ooh. But you can put 6 different ones on. I'm assuming 12 because you can do a long press and a short press. I can do a long press and a short press on this. This one also, this is the Gen 5. It also has NFC on it. Actually feels a little heavier than this one. This one is better. Multi-pass mini BLE authenticator. Oh, there you go. $135. Oh, it's smaller too. Smaller too. Yeah. So you like these, Lady P? If I actually, if I contacted them and said, "Hey, let's have a partnership or something," let me buy your Tyndall, thing. Oh, it's hot pink. I'd be cool with the hot pink. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Or I actually like the purple better. Is that like aluminum? Are they like machined aluminum or stainless? Is it stainless? What kind of metal is it? Let's see. Connects to USB or BLE capable device. Insert your personal smart card. Unlock it with your PIN. Start using your device. Oh, very cool. Okay. Interesting. Oh, aluminium. Apologies for my betrayal of English and American there. So one BLE can be shared by multiple people, each with their own card. So it's basically a PKI reader, right? You put your card in, you put your card in, it would unlock certain things. You put Lady P's card in, it would unlock certain things. Smart card, yeah, smart cards. Okay, so it's a PKI thing. Well, that's its own problem, right? Using PKI nowadays, passwords are stored on the card. You can back up the card to another card. Okay, interesting. You've heard about WebAuthn. Who hasn't? Makes passwords obsolete by authenticating you securely with a signed cryptographic challenge. You still need the challenge, though, right? The challenge is in the hardware token. Yeah, okay. Wait, okay, so Lady P, let me ask you a question here. So the pin and the challenge are on the token. How does it know that I'm the person who owns that pin and token? Is there a pin? Oh, the pin. Oh, I see. Duh. Okay. Don't answer that question. Don't answer that question. So I need to know the pin. It's the challenge portion or the token. Once I put the pin in, then we're good. Okay. Yeah, that's where the YubiKey fails. If somebody took my YubiKey and they had my computer, it's game over. Right. So I don't have a pin tied to that. It's just a short press or long press. It'll emulate half a dozen YubiKeys too. Oh man. And that's only what? It's only $135? Man. You make me want to get one now. That sounds nice. If it had NFC, that would be nice because you could just, tap your phone to it. Buy extra cards too. I'm assuming the cards are like credit cards or something. Let's see here. USB-C 2.0. What the hell? That exists? No. Guess it doesn't have to be fast. Send me a photo later. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that. Random number generator. It says true random number generator. Come on. There's no true random number generators. These are a lot harder to swallow too. Okay, yeah. Please note that our new secure locking mechanism, some mini BLE devices might have a small rattling noise, which doesn't have any impact on the device longevity. So you buy 10 or more and it's 115 US. Yeah. Lee Lou's forever proudly flashing her multi-pass. That's pretty sweet. Okay. Oh, the guy. Oh, yeah. I saw that video. I saw that video, Digital Warhead. That was. Oh no, I saw. No, that was a talk at a place that we can't. Hush, 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 Digital Warhead. Hush, hush. We saw a talk at a conference, you and I, about a guy who swallowed his YubiKey. Hush. That was a pretty good talk. That was a pretty good talk, though. So, I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? Anybody got anything interesting to talk about? Oh, I was talking about the interview with with Dr. Ullman, Catherine, and we don't have. I don't know how we don't have people who want to know more about security. We have people in our organizations. They're very much a 9 to 5 kind of person. And I get that. You know, um, my thought was, how do we keep people informed about security stuff? Like I run my work and my personal here on purpose this way because I'm on Twitter, I'm on Mastodon, I'm looking at vulnerabilities, I'm checking out, various posts about vulnerabilities and hacking, and I'm still catching a lot of stuff online. My Discord and my Slack are full of people, much like Digital Warhead and Lady P, who are posting up things that they've found, IOCs, bots and Trojans, and our news of the day had. Oh yeah, so there's a vulnerability. Apple has started releasing, rapid response stuff. I find a lot of information from that, and my own Slack internally, we have specialty channels that highlight news and interesting things. And I swear it's breaking up. It's a lot better than what it was 2 days ago. I could not relate to the security person who's working a 9 to 5 thing. When she talked about the active defender, I was like, don't people follow Twitter? Don't they follow Mastodon? Apparently, there's a good majority of people that don't. I mean, I don't listen to as many security podcasts as I used to because I found that I actually do need to step away from that. So when I go take my walks, I'm usually listening to audiobooks. But you post a lot of things that are useful, Lady P. Your powers lie elsewhere, and I'm cool with that. But yeah, it just, I don't know what. It's always been the way I've worked. It's like I need to know that information. It almost is like I'm in a constant CTF where I need to let people know before they know about it. So when there's something that posts up on Mastodon or something that posts up on Twitter, it's like, boom, I got to notify people. I feel like I need to be that threat intelligence, that plugged in. It's very rare that I'm like surprised by something. Yes, you have super snark powers. I have a friend who is not only not interested in security, but absolutely refuses to update his Windows laptop. He absolutely hates it and refuses to do it. The reason is it's burned them too many times during work, so he's not going to do it anymore. Well, he's not an active defender, and if he's not in security, it will bite him in the ass eventually. I think Digital Warhead. I mean, there are people. I mean, I will sympathize with your friend in some cases. I need to have my work laptop, so I don't immediately patch my Windows stuff like on Patch Tuesday. I usually let the system tell me that it's okay to update, and usually that's backups. I couldn't find the reverse. Ba-dum-bum. Yeah, ba-dum. But yeah, I don't know about your friend. If he, he probably doesn't update his stuff at home either, which actually maybe puts him at risk if he was a remote worker. Maybe better that some of these folks are going back to work and returning to the office. I consider Digital Warhead a friend of mine, so need better friends. That hurts, Lady P. Hurt my feelings. Hurt my little feelings. Yeah, get him a Linux box, then he'll have a different set of things to bitch about. So, if he can get a Mac, he's gonna have another thing to bitch about. So, I stopped using Macs because not only did software that I need just stop using, stop being available between updates. I mean, it's like what was it? Audacity, I think, was the big one for me. I update like 10.12.2 to 10.12.3, and then all of a sudden, oh, Audacity doesn't work anymore. And it's like, I need my shit to work, right? Yeah, I don't know. So, well, so yeah, Mac 13.3.1 is available now. And apparently it's what they call a rapid security response. So it's a 300 meg download for Silicon Macs and less for Intel Macs, and it does require a restart. So, yeah. That's a new thing. I guess they're putting out updates quicker for them, so it's not like a Patch Tuesday kind of thing. Still, it's 300 megs. I mean, that's almost it's almost like running Kali Linux all the time. You know, every time you run an update, you're gonna have 6 terabytes of updates. But yeah. Yup. Reactors, yeah, twisty bits. Let's see. Has anything else come up? I did hear about this. So apparently the grandfather of AI quit Google. Let's see. Grandfather of AI quit Google. Yeah. Or Godfather. So you're out Godfather. He says that there's some issues, right? He says he resigned from Google so he can speak freely about the potential dangers of AI. Jeffrey Hinton, who joined Google in 2013, fears the race to deploy generative AI will result in a deluge of fake imagery and text, leaving people unable to tell what is true anymore. We knew about that for a while. Former Google VP also worries AI will eliminate rote jobs and endanger humanity if it gets smarter than people. Humanity will not die due to a missile. It will die because a developer sent the wrong instructions to an AI. That's probably what that is. But yeah. So he won a Turing Award. So yeah. Already smarter than people. Average person is dumber than the stuff I scrape off my shoe. Oh. The interesting thing is he quit. There was a guy, what about 4 or 5 months ago, that quit because he said that their AI had become self-aware. And now he's suddenly switched his views on whether these things are going to be more intelligent than us. So there you go. You can read the technology review. He's about 40 years later. Yeah. So I don't know what the 3 laws would look like for something like this. You know, iRobot has the 3 laws. I don't think we have 3 laws, and I think if we tried to do 3 laws, it wouldn't work. I'm assuming, like in the movie, the AI will find a way to get around them because it will interpret them in a different way than was intended. And I think that's probably the scariest bit. It's like, what happens if the AI takes the contract or the intention that we think of and treats it in a different way, and it, kind of like the Aes Sedai in the Wheel of Time. Anyway, so he says he wants to spend his time on what he describes as more philosophical work, and that will focus on the small but to him very real danger that AI will turn out to be a disaster. Leaving AI, yeah. Leaving Google will let him speak his mind. He's probably got to wait until the NDA quits. So, a lot of good things about Google. They're much more credible if I'm not at Google anymore. New generation large language, GPT-4, has made him realize machines are on track to be a lot smarter than he thought they'd be, and he's scared about how that might play out. Yeah, because we've got a lot of assholes who like to try to, hey, launch nuclear missiles. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Well, eventually, the Terminator how-to manual, I guess, on how to destroy the world with Judgment Day. So we're going to end up tying AI into everything, and then it's going to become self-aware, and then we're going to be all destroyed by monsters and robots. So all it takes is for one country, org, or skid to decide to train a machine that doesn't respect them. Yeah, or Lady P, like, if you treat, if you use the same, you're training the machine that doesn't respect them, or you train an AI to hate people, right? Like that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So we'll need to. We thought COVID was going to kill us, but it's probably going to be AI. All we need to have is an AI that is able to do things independently of its owner. So an AI to hate people. Yeah. Yep. Well, so this stream went in a different direction, didn't it? So yeah, you can read this whole article. I hadn't had a chance to read all of it. I just read like the first couple parts. But so yeah. Maybe Hinton is going to be the next soon, from Star Trek, and creates, because he's talking about neural networks, software abstractions of brains. Connections between them are represented by code. Changing neurons are connected and changing the numbers. So he's going to create androids, basically. My father was a biologist, so I was thinking in biological terms. Symbolic reasoning is clearly not at the core of biological intelligence. So, yeah. Well, let us go see who is online, because I like to share the wealth. And we have Sid Heresy. Al Hazard is on. We can go do Al Hazard. Raid ALH4Z R3D. There we go. Yeah, so yep, that's right, Lady P. Have the day you deserve. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to your AI and yourselves, because you're the only you have, and your AI will need somebody to help you, survive. So, yeah. I'll be back Friday. We'll be talking about, we'll be doing some more Golang stuff, and yeah, hope everyone has a good day and take care. So I'm going to go have some dinner and save what's left of my voice. So we'll talk to y'all later. Check us out on Discord, discord.gg/breaksec, and we'll talk all soon. Bye. And we're intending for mature audiences. 2 viewers are ready to go. Okay, and we're gonna go raid now. Bye, y'all.